Welcome to the Laughter Clinic podcast with comedian and suicidologist Mark McConville, bringing you practical, evidence-based self-care strategies, the latest research in mental health, along with conversations that inspire, educate, and entertain. This is the Laughter Clinic podcast with your host, Mark McConville.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Laughter Clinic podcast. No matter where you are tuning in the world, thank you very much for joining us. As always, totally appreciate your time. And we have a wonderful guest today. We have Matt De Goldi, a.k.a. GOLDIE the Clown, probably Australia's most famous clown. I reckon you would have to be, surely.
Yeah.
Welcome, Matt.
I'm feeling a sudden rush of ego. Right, I'm Australia's most famous. Those words are good. And then you add clown.
That's a good thing. Well, mate, you've been doing it for over 30 years. I mean,
yeah, 35.
Professionally, that's a big thing, man. That is a big. So, look, before we get into everything GOLDIE, right? With all our guests, we start with a question centered around the saying, laughter is the best medicine. So this is a saying that's been around for over 3,000 years, and now we have modern-day research supporting the physical benefits of laughter and the psychological benefits of using your sense of humour as a coping mechanism to build resilience. So when you hear the saying, laughter is the best medicine, what does that conjure up for you, my friend?
It's actually a little bit triggering for me because my father used to say that, and it was good until I got appendicitis. And he just laughed. And then my appendix burst. And he was still laughing.
What?
He's like, and then no, that's a joke. I'll start with the. It was so funny till my sister got run over by a car. Yeah. She'll be fine. Come on, laugh, everybody. Yeah, right. Well, of course. Then we live by that, don't we? That's life in general, isn't it? Laughing in the face of tragedy, laughing in the face of life's pain, dealing with it through comedy is as how I try to deal with life.
Oh, mate, I'm so glad that we've been able to sit down and have this chat, because as soon as I started this podcast and I was going through all of the people that I wanted to talk to, you were in the top 20.
Right.
You know,
that's a lie.
Well, no, that's not a lie, because I tell you, there's 85 people on the list so far.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, well, I'm touched.
You know, because I find it fascinating that we work around, we swim around different parts of the same ocean, you know, like.
Yes.
To me, I can't begin to fathom what it's like to do your job, you know,
right.
to walk out and have an audience that can span 3 generations of people, from little kids to grandparents. And whereas, you know, when I walk out onto stage in the comedy club, I pretty much know who I'm going to have.
Got a demographic.
Yeah, that's right, you know, so.
It's true, yeah. So babies can laugh at me, and 1-year-olds and 2, well, not babies.
Well, I'm sure. But see, this is one of the things, though, I talk about in when I'm doing my mental health presentation. Right. I talk about the fact that laughter has been given to us from birth by whatever means of creator or creation that you subscribe to. And the proof of this lies in the fact that babies and infants laugh years before they understand language or humour.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest things is when you first try to make them laugh first is what you're trying to do. And then, they laugh, the first laugh, and you're like, oh, wow. And then, words come later.
Yeah, and it's sounds and faces and that sort of stuff, you know, like making kids, little babies laugh when, you know, mate, and so I really want to unpack that. So before we do,
let's unpack that box.
What do you reckon? You know, you've been, like I said, professional clown for over 3 decades now. So what do you reckon is a misconception the general public would have about a clown, like a professional clown, a circus clown?
Yeah, well, I mean, clowning's taken a battering in the last 30 years since I first started. I don't know, was it respected? I don't know, but clowns like me, where all the clowns looked like me, and over time, especially with the movies, the first It thing came out not long after I first started clowning.
That's Stephen King?
The first, that one with Tim Curry, and wonderful, God, what a performance he does. Yeah. And as a clown, there's moments in that show that I look at and go, that's great, look at his physicality, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's been a huge hit to clowns, and the older clowns, because suddenly some kids were saying, "Oh, don't bite me," and the older clowns were like, "It's because of this movie thing. It'll go," and it did go away for a long time, but then it's popped up again in the last 10 years or so with a vengeance.
Yeah, right.
The other It movies and that terrible thing they did 10 years ago when they were walking around dressed as clowns and going to schools and.
Yeah, well, look, even there's even a Seinfeld episode where
right, but it's funny.
It's funny.
Seinfeld's got some good clown bits.
Yeah, that's
Seinfeld's got that bit that's like, underneath all that makeup, there's a man that's just not right. And he's got another. We went and saw him a couple of years ago when he was here, and he did questions at the end. I was going to stand up because we were right at the front.
Yeah, right.
I'd lost my nerve. I wanted to stand up. I got a bone to pick with you, Seinfeld.
as a clown.
Yeah.
You know what? He would have loved it.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure. Because people were yelling out stuff everywhere, and I was like, I didn't have the courage.
Oh, man.
And there's a couple of, he's got a couple of clown bits.
Yeah.
They're great. But he respects clowns. You can tell he does with the way he talks.
Yeah.
Whereas there's other people, I've heard Louis C.K. like, clowns, they're not funny, and it's from he really thinks that.
Yeah, right.
But that's fine. Each to
But
their
mate,
own.
like it's an when you look at like I did a blog a year or so ago about the history of the saying laughter is the best medicine, that sort of stuff, and dates back to biblical times and all that. But
yeah, right.
The court jester isn't a stand-up comic; he's a clown.
Yes, right. And he's the one that could speak the truth to the king.
Yeah.
I've had that role kind of a little bit with the boss and the CEO. I've been able to get away with stuff that other people
but it was the crazy hat and the big shoes and the outfit and all that sort of stuff. There was that physicality, like the court jester wasn't coming in doing stand-up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, stand-up's a more recent thing. I don't know what they were doing. Were they juggling? I don't know the history. There's a guy in Brisbane, there's a clown intellectual guy. He's great. And he knows all the history and everything.
Yeah,
I know some.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
So talking about history, where's the origin of you being Goldie the Clown? How did all this
Nice. That was good. You're good at this. You heard that word and you went, ha-ha. That was great.
Segues, mate.
Speaking of history, let's go into your history. I love that. I love this podcast. I've been listening to your podcast.
Good on you, mate.
You're fantastic.
Thank you.
Hit my history. I grew up in a small country town in Victoria, little town. There was 60 kids in my school. But we were always a song and dance family. We would do shows and singing and Stedfords and dancing.
So your parents were performers?
My dad was a singer and he used to sing on the radio back in like the 50s.
Yeah, right.
And he was a tenor. And my mum never really performed, but she was like a good stage mum. She'd make all our costumes and think of the ideas and drive us to auditions and
right. And
so
how old were you when you started doing that?
4. I was 4 when I first went on stage.
No way.
Yeah.
What, with them or by yourself?
By myself. Actually, Joanne, my sister, was behind me. I dressed as Pinocchio. I sang Little Wooden Head from Pinocchio.
Wow.
And there's 2 lines in that actually that are very prophetic that you just wonder how the universe works. There's 2 lines. One of them is, in a weary world you do your share, spreading laughter everywhere.
Yeah.
Funny little toy, go play your part, give a little joy to every heart.
Wow.
That's the first.
How cool is that? And very poignant that you've remembered those,
right.
man.
Yeah, right. And they kind of, that song means a lot to me. And it's like, wow, you wonder sometimes how the universe works. I don't know that answer, but there's things like that are very profound for my life. And that's what I ended up doing.
And through school, like, was this performing? Did it just
there was a beautiful woman in our hometown that used to put on these shows, and every second year it'd be an adult show, and every other year it'd be a kids show, and it'd be a variety show. She'd get people to do songs and dances.
Yeah.
And so we'd always be in them, and then if not, we were in, we'd go to Bendigo, which was the closest big town. We were in the Sound of Music, or we'd go down to Melbourne and do a Stedfords, and so we were the De Goldi family singers, basically.
Yeah, right.
And then my sister joined a circus when I was 11. And
your sister, older sister?
Yeah, my older sister. She's 7 years older.
Wow.
So she was a dancer, and the circus had dancing and illusions. So they needed dancers. So she went and became a dancer. She ended up doing trapeze and she went up there and did all that stuff, which I can't do.
And when you saw her do that, obviously she had the support of your parents to go and do that.
Right, yeah.
Was that
I think she was 18 or 19 when she took off.
Yeah, was that the thing that went, wow, if she can do it, I can do it?
No, but just there was a job offer. Because there's always other jobs in the circus for other things apart from just performing.
Yeah,
so they
right.
needed someone to take tickets. They needed someone to work the canteen.
Yeah.
And they needed a cook for all the tent hands. They don't do it anymore, but they always used to have a kitchen.
Okay.
And all the tent hands would come by and get 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
And so they needed that. And so I just came home from school and my mum said, we're doing it too. We're running away to join the circus.
As a family?
As a family.
Oh, man.
So suddenly I'm with my parents, working with my parents, 12 years old. And when I was, we did that circus for about a year and a half. We left for a little bit. Then we went back, joined another circus. And that's when I became a clown.
So did the name was Goldie
Because it's
given
De Goldi,
to you?
my mum chose it.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to be Buttons, or but
you wanted to be something traditional?
Yeah, I want a clown name.
Yeah, right.
I even liked Matthew. I just thought I'd never liked my name when I was a kid. I like it now, but when I was,
Mathew the Clown.
But I just thought Matthew had a nice kind of sound to it. I don't know. It's a soft sound. I don't know what it was, but my mum she named me twice. She named me when I was born, and she also named my clown. And then she made all my first costumes. She was a massive supporter of me. My mum loved clowns. When I was little, before I was born, she made clown dolls. She painted clowns. She opened a shop and it was called Harlequin.
Wow.
She just loved.
And so were they homeschooling you? Is that how that worked?
Yes, when they could catch me.
What do you mean?
Well, because you turn into town and you get up and you're in a showgrounds or something, and I had a mate that was like a year younger, so we'd be like, let's go, and we'd run off and make cubbies and
okay.
So when they could catch me, we got homeschooled.
Yeah.
But I'd quite often be, you're exploring. I'd never been out of my state, and I'd lived in this small little country town.
Yeah.
And suddenly we're off in the circus. Within 6 months, I was living in the car park of Australia's Wonderland in Sydney, working. The circus got booked to work in the theme park.
Wow,
So I'd never
okay.
been out of my state, little town, and within 6 months I was living and working in a theme park.
Yeah.
It was
So do you
a
think?
whole new world. A whole new world.
Yeah, I bet. And so you're 12, like coming into your teenage years at that point. Do you reckon that you grew up really fast?
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah. And because suddenly you're working with adults. There's a few kids, but mostly it's adults. So you have to start learning adult conversation.
Yeah.
And, by the time...
Did your parents kind of, were they cool with that, or did they try and shelter you from that a bit?
No, not at all. And then I suddenly, because I'm then working with my parents, suddenly I heard my dad swear for the first time. It's like, oh, Dad swore. And because I'm suddenly in his world.
Yeah.
And so he's now with the fellas.
Yeah.
So, it changed the dynamic of the family completely. We weren't just
I think
mum and dad, we were workmates.
Yeah, well, I reckon everybody can remember the first time they hear their parents swear or go
Right.
off at something.
Yes.
I remember when my old man said "fuck" for the first time. I was like, I thought, I idolised him all of a sudden.
Right.
I was just like,
He was vocal.
Yeah, I just thought this guy's great. And then, of course, I started dropping it left, right, and centre around the house, and I quickly found out that it's one of those be careful.
Yeah, I've said that with my kids because they've grown up in the circus. So, and people will swear and say, oh, sorry, I swore in front of the kids. It's like, no, I've been telling them since they're this big. Swears are for adults, not for children. You can swear when you're bigger. And, and they stuck to that. They're good kids. They've never swanned. I swear.
So talking about, is this something that you hope is going to stay in the family now?
It may, because Billy's been clowning with me now. So I left the circus when I was 16 because I wanted to go to school. And then
you wanted to go to school?
Yeah, there's many. I missed a lot of schooling. Again, they couldn't catch me enough to sit me down.
Do you think you also missed like the friend, like all you had was your circus friends? Do you think you missed that side of?
No, because I didn't want to go into normal school because I felt like I was older suddenly than everyone else. I'd speak to people my own age, and they all seemed so young.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing night classes in year 11 and 12 with like 50-year-olds who were going back to get their their
high school certificate or something. Yeah,
and so
right.
I'd be sitting. The school would finish at 3:30. The night classes would start, and I was only 16, 17. But I'd turn up with all those people because I didn't want to have people my own age. They were annoying. I was an adult now. I regret some of that. You know, you grew up too fast. That's fine, but that's how I was. But some of it, I go, I should have hung on to some of that youth a little more.
Yeah.
But
so you left the circus at 16
and then
to go
just
back
kept
to school.
clowning, and then I went to uni as well.
What'd you study at uni?
Studied.
Let me guess, you did an arts degree.
Yeah, well,
you did an arts degree.
I did. This is what I was doing because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was doing acting. I went to UQ. I was doing the acting, whatever they had, Japanese and astronomy.
Okay.
Because I didn't really know what I wanted to. Apparently, I was going to be some Japanese-speaking dramatic astronomer. A star or not a star? That is a question.
What a bizarre combination.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know what I loved space.
Did you finish all of those?
No, 6 months in, Dreamworld called and said we need a clown.
Dreamworld.
Yeah. So, and in those intermediate years, I just kept clowning because gigs would pop up on the weekends, and I was thinking, what am I going to do with my life? I never planned to be a clown for my life. I thought, what am I going to?
It found you, man.
Serious job am I going to do?
Yeah, yeah.
But then the phone would ring. Hey, this Saturday, South Bank. You know, okay. So it'd suddenly be, and so it was.
So
good money.
did you clown during Expo '88?
No, I was after that. So I started in '91.
Okay.
So I missed Expo. I was still in Victoria then.
Yeah, right. And so when you say Dreamworld called, what did that look like? Did you have to audition? Were they putting a thing out for a clown?
I did. In 92, 93, they did a circus promotion, and I didn't audition for that. I just put in and I got that gig. It was a 5-week school holiday thing in December of 92, 93. And then they would get me back, I think, for the next year. They had a promotion. Oh, let's get the clown back. And then I think I did 6 stints at Dreamworld at different times over the next 3 years. For like school holiday promotions. And then the clown they had retired, and which I didn't see coming, and they didn't, because they'd promoted him to being like virtually the biggest mascot of the park.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to replace him. They felt like great for me, they felt like they needed a
full-time clown.
That was part of, they felt like that was fundamental by then because he was so great.
So when are we talking about here? Late 90s?
I got the gig in 96.
96, okay.
July 96, that's when I started.
And so 16 years you were there. So for those that don't know, Dreamworld's probably one of Australia's biggest theme, or if not Australia's biggest theme park here on the Gold Coast. And I actually worked there for a few years, you know.
That's where we met,
shared the green room there, mate.
Yeah.
So I never thought I'd share the green room with a clown.
Yeah, right. It's funny, isn't it, when you're sitting there having lunch and there's someone in half a bear suit and the wizard's still got his beard on, and
you look around, swords around the corner.
That's right. This is normal.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is my life.
Yeah,
it's like Trump with the Easter Bunny. Did you see that?
Oh, mate. Oh, no.
It's like, that's normal.
How random. Because that's the thing is, I do remember multiple days where I would be sitting there in the green room and I'm just looking around and I'm going, Cloud, Wiggles,
right?
There's someone from Nickelodeon. I'm there in a like a Alien versus Predator outfit.
Yes.
And then like before I did that, we did the scare attractions down there as well, which was pretty cool. I can't believe I got paid to scare people.
Where's my money?
That's the weirdest thing, man. Like, I think the fascinating thing about working as a clown at Dreamworld is before I got really heavily into stand-up, because I trained as an actor for 3 years and I worked for a company, you probably heard of Is It Entertainment?
Yeah, David Coombs.
Yeah, great guy.
No, I used to do gigs. They'd get me gigs too back in the day.
Yeah, and it was all street theatre.
Yes.
Street theatre. I've been that guy where you're a statue.
Right.
And the fashion police and all that.
Yeah, fashion police. That's right.
Fun,
Did you
man.
do that?
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, right.
With Sean Dennehy and all those guys.
Yeah.
And
when did you start? When did you do that? Like before stand up or?
Yeah, I probably did that around, I'd say 1998 till maybe about 2002.
Yeah, right.
2000 and, yeah,
Right,
probably
so
about
that's
40.
when I would have been at Dreamworld by then. So I'm out of because I used to you do a shopping centre opening or something, and there'd be the regular guys kind of sitting there, you know, and sharing sometimes a little toilet to put on your face or a little bathroom in the back of a shopping centre, and there'd be regular guys from Is It and stuff that would be in there. But I never saw you then because that was a few years later.
Did you ever see the most random thing I reckon I got to do when I was doing street theatre was I was part of the Victor lawn mowing precision stunt team.
Oh, no, I never saw that, but that
that
doesn't surprise me. That's great.
Mate, it was 4 of us, right, in red overalls pushing around lawnmowers over ramps and shit.
Right.
It was just
Great.
It was hilarious,
Yeah.
you know. But when you're a full-time clown in a theme park,
Yes.
man, that's street theatre next level, isn't it? Because people are coming into the theme park and they want to do the rides and all that sort of stuff, and they come around the corner and there you are in your
There's a
little
clown.
clown car. Meow, meow.
Right. It's something for them to do on the way from a ride to a ride or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's next level because I always thought, well, it's different to busking, I guess. Isn't
Did you
it?
have your
Because
own show as
I
such,
did
like
at
a
the
show?
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not at the end. I started. I'd do it now and then more and more towards the end, I'd do a show in the middle of the day. But mostly it was roving.
Yeah.
And the good thing, so it's, I guess on some level, I wouldn't build crowds necessarily. Sometimes I would, but where you've got to learn to hold them. I never really had to learn how to hold them because I didn't really care. I'd have a laugh with people. Sometimes I'd hold them, but I didn't have to. You know, like you do when they do street shows, you know what I mean? You need to build a crowd and then hold on to them for 15 minutes or so, and then hopefully they're going to put money in your hat at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, I'd joke around, and if it didn't go well, I'll move on to the next people. That was great.
Was the
fail-safe.
Goldie the Clown, the Dreamworld Goldie, pretty much the same persona as what the circus Goldie is?
There's different. Yeah, it is. It's just there's slightly different ways of. I don't get to improvise as much in the circus. I do at intermission a little bit, but at Dreamworld it was just all improvisation, and just all going up and saying something to people, and they'd say something back, and you make comedy, you make a little comedy moment, have a laugh, move on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've seen you do the circus show.
You did. You came a couple years ago,
and it's fantastic. Like you are centre stage. You know, as opposed to in Dreamworld, you're kind of part of an ensemble of entertainment that's around the park. But when you're in that space, you're really holding that space, aren't you?
Yeah, well, in the circus, I am the Tower of Terror. I am the roller coaster. At Dreamworld, they come to see the tigers, they come to see the roller coaster, and there's a clown here. Great, we'll have a laugh with the clown while we're here during the day. That's not to say that some people it hasn't affected some people. And I had a mate who was getting on a plane once, and he was standing behind a family, and they were saying, "I can't wait to get to the Gold Coast. We'll go to the beach. Oh, I can't wait to go on that ride." And the little kid behind said, "I can't wait for the clown to kick me in the bum again." So I was one of their 3 things that they were looking forward to.
Yeah.
They're wonderful, but I'm not. But for the most part, they're not coming to the theme park to see it. But at the circus, I'm one of the 3. I'm one of the 3 big things. They want to see the acrobats, the animals. They want to see the clown.
Yeah, and can we mention the circus that you?
Yeah, Hudson Circus.
Yeah, and you are pretty much the face of Hudson Circus on so much of the promo.
Yeah,
it's Goldie.
Yeah, he's put me on the posters and on the trucks and on the canteen, and I was on the show bag and I'm on the pamphlets. And
the big inflatable gold.
Like, yeah, there's 5 metre tall.
You know you've made it when you've
that inflated my ego.
You've got a big inflatable Goldie.
Well, Dreamworld made a statue. God,
that's right. Yeah.
So you've made it. I guess when you.
I wonder if that statue's still
I've
there.
got it.
Is it what?
Yeah, when the Dreamworld gig fell through.
Yeah,
because they were sad. My bosses, they didn't want, it was a company above that were doing budget cuts.
Yeah.
So they were so sad that they gave me the car, they gave me the motorbike, and they gave me the statue. They went, "Here, have everything." Yeah, so I've now built a thing for the statue, and it's in the foyer in the circus.
Yeah, cool.
But it's pretty cool seeing the statue. Have you ever seen a statue of yourself? No. It's an interesting
No
experience.
one's doing a statue of Mark McConville, mate. I can tell you right now.
The first time is to see it. The first, it's like I sat down.
Like, did you have
beside
to pose for someone to like, or did they just do it off a photo?
They did it off a photo, yeah.
And
So
but you got to choose the pose.
No, I think they kind of based it on the Donald McDonald ones. You know, he's sitting there on the bench. They did kind of that. So he's got one arm out and one arm for someone to come and sit beside.
Yep.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I've lost my train. Beep, beep, honk, honk.
The circus. I want to talk about this because the thing that and we touched on this right at the start. The thing that fascinates me about what you do is your ability to entertain 5-year-olds and 75-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, because I've had times on cruise ships where they've gone, "We want you to go and do a kids show,"
Right.
And I shit myself, right? I come out on the stage at like 4 o'clock, and because they know they employ us as R18 adult comedians,
Right.
And I actually do a whole comedy routine about the fact that I don't know how to entertain kids, so I'd get them to entertain themselves and do a little joke telling competition and all that sort of stuff, and the shit that comes out of kids' mouths is because there's no filter, you know.
Yes.
But that's only, you know, I've only got half an hour and I cheat my way through it. But as a clown, you know, when people come into the circus, I dare say everybody in that big top is looking at the clown to entertain the kids. And if you entertain the adults, that's a byproduct, that's a bonus. Would that be right?
For sure, I think so. I think most. I even sometimes there'll be a group of adults, just adults, and you can sometimes men, and I feel it. You'll see them going like, "God, here comes the clown."
Do you get people going to the circus that without kids? Like, oh, yeah, okay,
yeah. Sometimes there's just a group of fellas. You know, I guess they've thought, "Let's go to the circus." All right, Barry, sounds fun. Not doing anything.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Let's do that. Let's crack another beer and go.
As an 18-year-old guy growing up in Australia, I don't know if that was ever really on my radar.
No, it is a surprise when I see it, but that does happen. But you've got to impress them every time, even though I very seldom bomb anymore, you know, because I've got a formula and they want to. They're on my side mostly.
But you're still improvising when you're going out.
Not really. Not in the ring.
Oh, but when I've seen you walk around the crowd, though, with your little water pistols and all that sort of stuff,
right? You know? A little, but more the circus is more routines.
Yeah, right.
And I get too scared to. I know of other clowns. I've heard of other clowns that do it. They go out and they improvise away from their routine. I get a bit too scared. And if it's one-on-one in the street and you're coming up with stuff, then fine. You know, and I love that.
It's a formula. You know what works. You know, and I remember, you know, as there was a time in my career doing stand-up, and I'm sure a lot of comedians get this, where I was going from, you know, doing amateur spots to being paid, and you know the show producer would say, when I'm paying you, I'm not paying you to experiment.
Right.
I'm paying you to give me the show that you have honed within an inch of its life.
Exactly.
If you want to experiment, go and do open mic stuff and do all that sort of gear.
Right.
But like now, you know, like I can do a 1 hour show and do an experiment with like 10 minutes of new stuff in the middle or whatever, because I know that everything either side.
Yes.
And I suppose that's the same for you. You've got your formula for your show.
Yeah, and it's got to work every show. I can't afford to just go off and have something not work.
Yeah.
That's not fair to them, and it's not fair to my boss.
Yeah.
Same thing. He's paying me for a product to get everybody to laugh every show and have every show be like, wow, the clown was so great, and tell their friends so more people come. Yeah,
does your boss give you a certain amount of freedom to you know?
Oh yeah, if I said, hey, I want to do this new act, which I do every now and then, I change out an act and try something different. I have a whole new act.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I've got freedom to do that.
Yeah.
And I've got freedom to. It changes over time, you know. You'll think of something one show, and you go, oh, that's better. So it'll be it'll grow and change in increments over time. The structure of it will stay the same. And I like it's fun to, you know what it's like. You've got to make this stuff feel like you've just thought of it. There's an art to that. And
Well, that's one of the things that I say to people is the interesting one of the most commonly asked questions that I'll get after on the cruise ships, for example, where you do an hour show, right? In big theatre, 1,000-seat theatre, you might have people come up to you, how do you remember all that?
Right.
You know,
Common question.
You've just spoken for an hour. How do you remember all that?
Yeah.
And my standard response is remembering it is the easy part, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a script that I've said 1,000 times before, how many times, and it's easy to remember because a lot of it is stories that have happened to me.
Right.
Right. The hard part is doing it in a way for the 10,000th time or whatever that I still think it's funny.
Right.
Because if I tell that story and I don't still think it's funny, you're not going to buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I suppose that's the same. You've still got to believe in.
It's exactly the same. That part of it's exactly the same. Making it fresh.
Yeah.
Making it feel like it's
For you.
For me, but I've got a joy in doing it. But there's times when it feels like any job. Most jobs are repetitive. You go drive a bus. What do? You drive a bus all day. You go here and you're mostly doing paperwork all day. So very few jobs you're really getting new challenges that are totally out of your zone all the time. I don't know what it would be offhand.
A pilot?
They're flying planes. They're flying planes every day.
Yeah, well.
It's not like they turn up one day, it's like, train this elephant.
No.
Hey, one day and belly dance. They're flying planes.
Yeah.
So you get sick of it. But with this, you get, it's joyous. And the trick is to, there's times when it's like I'm back into the grinder, but it's a pretty great grinder.
Yeah. I'm interested in because when I go out, it's Mark McConville on stage, right? And it's like it is a version of me,
yes,
but it's still me.
Whereas mine is a whole different human being.
That's right. So I don't know if you're happy to go a bit of a peek behind the curtain,
right? But
before you're doing a show, like how long does it take you to go from being Matt to being Goldie?
I take an hour to put it on.
Okay,
and that process,
the face paint,
definitely that process, the whole thing.
It's not makeup, my friend.
I can probably thank you.
I learned that mistake when I watched your Conan.
Ladies wear makeup.
I watched your Conan. podcast, and I'm very grateful that you're doing this because it is a step down from being interviewed by Conan.
Just a step sideways. Went from Conan to Mark McConville.
But when he was saying about makeup, I saw you just go.
Well, it's my go-to gag. I just say it all the time. Someone says makeup, I say face paint. And that joke actually it got ahead of me. A few years ago, somebody came to me and they said, when I started working here, someone had warned me because they thought I was serious. Don't call it makeup. He hates that. It's called it face paint. I was like, it's a joke. I'm not, but it's my go-to joke. But I said it to Conan, and he was like, "Oh, I wear makeup." I don't think I'd ever said it to somebody who also wears makeup before. So
yeah.
Most people, anyway.
The process, an hour.
I allow an hour because I don't like to rush. If I could do it in half an hour if I had to, but I like to take my time. Also, I've got to keep cool. If I sweat and rush, then it doesn't go on properly. So, and in that process, it's mostly when the nose goes on and I can see the nose. And then even then I can still be backstage and be out of character. It's mostly when you're in front of people.
Yeah.
And the Dreamworld thing helped with that. A lot of clowns don't clown when they clown in the show, and then after the show, or if they're being interviewed by somebody on the news or whatever, they're suddenly serious. They go out after the show and they'll be like, "Hi, thanks for coming to the show. Thank you."
Yeah.
Whereas I'm still like, "Hey, kids, hope you had a good time."
Yeah.
It sounded like Mickey Mouse. It didn't sound anything like. I can't do the clown voice out of the.
Isn't that interesting?
It gets evoked.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You channel.
I don't like to say this too much, but after 35 years, and maybe other people out there who have also done a character for this amount of time, after a while, it's got a separate part of your brain. A lot of the comedy is in Goldie. Goldie says things that I wouldn't think of. Goldie reacts to things in ways that I don't.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to ask you. Do you reckon so Goldie can get away with things that Matt couldn't?
Oh, yeah. It's a license to kill's the wrong word.
Yeah.
Clowns don't kill. Yeah. License to kill with comedy. Oh, yeah. The clown can. Like I go up to people and I go to blind people and give me your stick. I want it. What do you want? What, you don't need it? I need it. I've got to hit kids with that. Or, get out of your chair. I want to ride around in it. Like you can't get away with doing that.
Yeah.
The clown can say and do things that are outrageous, and I do.
Do you reckon there's because there's a lot of scrutiny on comics now, like what we can and can't say and all that sort of stuff. Do you reckon
that is happening? Is that happening?
Oh,
that's real.
100% it's happening.
Right.
Like last year, in the space of 12 months, I got 6 emails for gigs that I was going to do.
Yes.
And 6 different occasions where I was specifically told what I cannot say.
Oh, by the booker?
By the client.
By the client.
Not so much the agent, but the end client whose company I was going to work for or whose conference I was going to do, whatever it was, saying, we don't want you to touch this subject, this subject, this stuff, and 6 times. And one of them I actually, the list was so long, I rang the client up and I said, maybe you don't want a comic.
Right.
Yes. I mean, because you're taking out all
magicians.
You're taking out all of the good stuff. But I suppose you've kind of escaped that, haven't you? Because clown, you still got the license to do what you want.
Yeah, but I do. But I've got a good filter of what's right and wrong to say. You can say some things with a wink and a smile, but it's always G-rated. I'm aimed for the kids.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a Pixar movie. Sometimes I'll word things or phrase things in a way it's very light. But the adults will go, I know what he means.
Yeah.
And the kids will just be. So, there's a way to get around it. But it's not, I'm not a stand-up. It's different to.
Have you ever thought about doing stand-up?
Yeah.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. I never had the drive. Eastgate's been trying to talk me into it for years.
Yeah.
But and I'll come up with bits every now and then.
Yeah.
I'll go, okay, that's good, but that's a stand-up bit. That's not a clown thing.
Yeah.
And but I never really I'm going to go do it. It was always like oh, maybe. But all the other kid and clowns and children's entertainers that I knew and used to work with got to a stage where they went, we want to go do adult now. And I just never did that.
Yeah,
I just always was like, I love this. This is so fun. Kids and families.
Well, it's the heart and soul of it, isn't it? Like making kids laugh and just getting them to erupt.
Yeah, I love it, and I find it easy. There's people that don't, and it's. But I went and got the tiger photos years ago before my mum died. I took her in to get tiger photos. And I said to the tiger guys while we were doing it, I said, I don't know how you guys do this with tigers. Like, I'd be scared.
Yeah.
And they said same. They were, I don't know how you do that, putting up with those kids all day. We saw like 20 kids around here the other week stomping on your toes, trying to rip your wig off. How do you handle that?
I know. Well, that's the thing.
Each to their own.
I don't know how you maintain your cool, man, because like I had times when I was doing street theatre, right, where there was one day in particular where it was some street fair or something, and I had to do the statue, right?
Yes, right.
And so I had these big jacket and pants on that made me look like I was covered in, like I was a concrete statue, right? And it was one of those tableau things where you just stand there and you're just frozen, but then every now and then you just move, right, okay, to freak someone out, right? And I remember this one day where I was standing there and there's like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 teenagers and they're like, get something to throw at his nuts. Right. Get something to throw at his nuts, and like, let's poke him, get him to smile. And they were just hell-bent on getting me to break character, And so the only thing I could do, because, in my mind I'm just unraveling going, I want to just get these kids.
Right.
And I just waited until they came close enough and then I just like lunged.
Yes.
But didn't get them, obviously, but I just lunged at them in a way that just made them all shit themselves and run away. But, man, when you got kids...
But I can get away with, so you're constrained there by that character, whereas I virtually have no constraints. So if the kids come up to me, Dreamworld used to happen all the time. You get a big group of 10 teenagers that are there by themselves without adult supervision. They come out, let's get the clown, let's get him. And within 5 minutes, they're either leaving with their tail between their legs or they're picking on, you pick on one guy. And see, because I've seen it all before.
Yeah.
They think I've come down the last shower. But I've got to every line you're probably going to say to me, I've heard it 20 times before.
Yeah.
And I've got 20 lines to come back at you with.
Yeah.
So and then you seem like super quick and super funny. And then I pick on Barry, and by the end they're like the clown's their best friend.
Yeah, yeah.
And Barry is an idiot, and then they walk off. So
yeah.
I've got it's just most kids that come up to me, they're wanting to be playful. I've got a detector for when they're actually wanting to be brats.
Yeah.
It takes a lot before finally I'll joke, and then every now and then, all right, rack off. That's enough of you.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're wanting to be playful, and I'll play in response, and then I'll find a way to steer it into goodness.
It must be hard. Must be hard when you see them running amok and their parents aren't doing anything. Like their parents almost like, yeah, go and see if you can hassle the clown, sort of thing.
Right.
Does that happen? Like
yeah. Go stomp on his toes because the dad wants to do it.
Yeah.
But no, I can, after this, I can twist 99.9% of interactions into goodness.
Yeah.
I don't have to. And in fact, if I fail at that, if I do have to say enough, go away, I more look at that as a failing of my ability to have turned it into something good.
Right.
Which is probably not right.
Yeah.
That was just a no-win situation. That was just a bad kid or bad situation.
Yeah.
But I try to think about as many ways as I can to make it good, make it funny, bring it to the good side.
Yeah, yeah.
It's there to be had.
Mate, that process of, like you said, taking an hour to put the face paint on and actually, get all your clothes and all that sort of stuff. Do you think that helps you go out and do it when you don't feel like being funny, or you don't feel like because, I know there's been times where I've done gigs where personal tragedy in my life, loved ones have passed away, fights with your girlfriend or whatever, and you're being paid to go out and be funny. It might be the last thing that you feel like doing. And, but do you think going through the process of becoming another character helps you navigate that?
Yeah, you forget about it. I forget. You become something else. And then you can go back into the green room and be like, but you feel down again. But for that time, yeah, it helps. It's hard to know. After my dad died, I only had 2 weeks off, and that might have been too soon, maybe. Maybe not. But I think it's hard for – Conan was talking to me about that at the end of the interview. Oh, sometimes you don't feel like doing it. He was saying you just feel like, can I really do this? Yeah. But it's like I've described it before on a podcast where I was talking about the fact that like there was a time where my stepfather was in hospital, dying with 9 brain tumours, and at the same time I was just starting to get paid support work, and so I'd go from his hospital driving across town to the comedy club and walking on stage and having to be funny for 20 minutes, and you're backstage going, how can I possibly do this, right? Yeah.
And the group of comics that I had around me at the time, I was very fortunate, was so supportive, and they just said, just go out and worry about the first minute.
Right.
Because once you get out there and you start, once you get that first laugh and you kind of get into that zone, everything else just peters away, and then you come off stage with that adrenaline, that rush, and now, fast forward to, my uni studies and talking to people about the importance of humour and laughter for your mental health. It's fascinating to me now that I've found research to show that it's more psychologically beneficial to make someone else laugh than it is to laugh yourself.
Right. That's there's information on that, is there?
Yeah, there's a ton of research on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is to do with the connectedness. Because you're feeling a connection, you're doing something good for someone else, self-esteem, quality of life, life satisfaction, because it feels good to make someone else laugh. Yeah. So as much as the audience is getting a kick out of it when we're making them laugh, in actual fact, psychologically, the person on stage is getting a bigger hit out of it. And that's why I say to people, when I do the workshops, I say, go forth and be funny.
Right. It certainly does feel like you're doing a service. And I think that's one of the keys to any life, any career is what are you helping humanity? What are you doing to pay back? That gives you so much reward. And I was thinking about studying to be a psychologist a few years ago because I thought, in 2022 we left the circus for a while and I thought maybe I'll do something else. And my first thought was, what can I do that feels like I'm helping people as much as this does? It's so silly, like I'm the clown, but it does feel like you take people away from their troubles for a couple of hours and make them laugh.
100%.
It's
100%.
Yeah, more of that. The world needs more of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I get people coming up and telling me over the years, how much it means. And now, of course, people coming up with their kids saying, this is my clown when I was a kid. Like kids, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's it.
It does mean stuff to people.
Oh, 100%.
Which I never saw coming. I always just thought, I'm just doing my thing. And then later it's like, there was meaning in this.
It's happening more and more. We see it in stand-up, like that's what it was. That was a turning point for my career, was a husband and wife on a cruise ship back in 2012, where after the gig, I'd just done a gig like I'd done 1,000 times before. And after the gig, I'm sorry for those listeners that have heard me tell this story 1,000 times, but this is the origin, And this lady came up and she's crying her eyes out, and she wraps her arms around me and goes, "I don't know how I can possibly thank you because I haven't seen my husband laugh out loud for 3 years."
Yes.
And he was a veteran.
Yes.
And here's this guy saying, "Mate, you've done more for me in one night than 3 years of counselling and post-traumatic stress management because you just made me laugh for an hour."
That's beautiful. And I've had exactly that moment too. And I've had, and with a clown too, where it was a few years ago, after that thing that happened in 2016 where they were turning up, I've had a family come up with the daughter and they were like, the clowns turned up, this idiot clowns turned up at her school and she's been terrified ever since. And we came here and wow, and we had a hug and she was like, "I love you and I love you too. And you're my new favourite." They were like, "You've cured her clown fear." I've had adults come up and be like, "I'm scared of clowns. I've been in therapy. But my therapist has told me it's time for me to find a clown and give him a hug. So I just want to," it's like, yeah, I'm just a person dressed up, to make you laugh. And I've had a lot of that. I had a guy about a year ago. You'll love this.
Oh, God.
This is the end. This is ridiculous, but he was so sincere. He said, "Oh, man," he said, "it feels so good. Thank you so much for the laugh tonight." He said, "It was really good to get out and have a laugh. My sister died yesterday." And and I thought,
God.
yesterday,
and he's at the circus today.
Yesterday, he couldn't have waited. Normally, it's like 3 years. Okay, fair enough. But the very next day, he was like, "Oh, I need to be cheered up. I'm off to the circus."
See, how's the self-awareness of that guy? But see, that goes to the heart of laughter is the best medicine.
I know.
Yeah, like so many people, I've had a shit day, a shit week. My sister died yesterday.
But normally you'd wait a little while, take the medicine. Should I take the medicine yet?
How did you respond to that?
"Oh, great. Oh, thank you, mate. Wonderful." And he walked off. And as he walked off, I was like, yesterday.
That's crazy. So just I want to go back to something that you just talked about. This fear of people actually have come up to you and said that you've cured their.
Yeah.
What is with this fear of clowns?
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of it's not real. A lot of it in society, people think clowns are all scary now. They're not. Then it's no different. I walked around the shops last week to film this thing for the circus, and I was a little worried, even myself, because sometimes I buy into it. It's like, we're going to go over to the shops and I'm going to film things around. Did I say filthy just then? I'm going to film things around the shopping centre, but I'll get a guy to come with me just in case I have any trouble. There was no trouble. Not one scared person. Kids waving, people coming up and having photos. Any teenager that was pretending to be scared is only pretending to be scared. The clown fear thing is very few and far between.
Yeah.
I maybe don't see them. Every now and then at the circus, I'll see a genuine case. It's very rare though.
Yeah.
It's like, do
you think it's like little kids kind of, because it's it might be the first time they've seen a clown. It depends on maybe a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, but again, most little kids, very rare that any kids are scared at the circus.
Yeah.
Very rare that kids, they're no more scared of the clown than they are of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Some kids are just scared of a person dressed up.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line, society in the last 20 years went, oh, clowns are scary, and that kind of started to take off.
Yeah.
But I don't see that on the ground. It's no different than it was 35 years ago when I started.
Yeah, right.
The same amount of kids now and then are a little timid, or every now and then one will cry. But I'll go a week or more without hearing a kid be scared.
Does it annoy you when, like we were saying before about the, clowns being portrayed in the movie as the villain?
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's kind of ruined my art form. It's tried to ruin my art form.
Yeah.
You see most clowns now that are coming, they're not dressing like me. They're not even wearing makeup. Sometimes they don't wear red noses, and they're being clowning, and that's fine. They're doing their thing, but I like a clown to look like a clown. What I like about what I do, and I'm not going to change it, is the minute anyone sees me, before they even, the first millisecond, they look at me, clown.
Well, because it's traditional.
Right.
You are the traditional.
Got the hoopy pants, the big shoes, the red nose, the red wig, the makeup.
Big tie, the hat.
My pants fall down.
Yeah.
I squirt water. That's, to me, I love that, and I don't want. So I'm trying to hold the torch to keep that alive.
Yeah, it's the traditional clown.
Yes, clown classic, as we called it on Conan. Clown classic.
So do you think? Where do you, like? I know it's we're in a strange time, entertainment wise. Everyone's on their mobile phones and getting online entertainment, all this sort of stuff. How do you see the future of a travelling circus, travelling around, that sort of stuff?
Hopefully it'll be when things were good, like after COVID, bam, we boomed. Like people were just, I think they were just sick of sitting at home on Netflix.
How did you guys cope during COVID?
We just shut down. Like everything got shut down. All entertainment was like the first thing to go, wasn't it?
That was a crazy thing, man.
Lost all my gigs.
It was, and the thing that I found really annoying at that time, and I even was part of a group of us wrote a letter to the federal ministers about it, was the fact that all of the narrative in the news centred around the hospitality industry and the tourism industry and the healthcare workers, right? And yet, myself, everyone that I knew, I lost 8 months worth of work in 4 days,
right?
As did you.
We all did.
As did you, And there was no narrative about the entertainment industry whatsoever.
It was, I think, for the first little bit. When all the gigs started going, people went, oh, Blues Fest is cancelled, this is cancelled, whatever,
But the big ones
fell away.
Yeah.
That's right. And then people didn't care after a while. It was on to the essential workers.
Yeah.
And we weren't them. Clown wasn't an essential worker. It wasn't on the list.
Yeah.
I wrote to the Prime Minister. He didn't write back.
Yeah.
The funny thing with me was we left the circus at the end of 2019 to decide to get the kids into school and live a real life. And I thought, am I going to be able to get gigs? Because I hadn't tried to get gigs for 23 years. I was at Dreamworld and then I was in the circus.
Yeah.
So I just had regular work. And
so as soon as Dreamworld finished, you pretty much went straight into Hudson's.
I had 2 days drinking to do, and then the circus called. It was actually Royal Circus called and said, we need a clown.
Wow.
So I took off to Perth and was clowning with them. We were with them for a year and a half, and then we left. And then a few months later, Hudson started up, and I started with them, and I've been with them ever since.
Yeah.
But then, well, not ever since. But we left at the end of 2019 to get. And I thought, am I going to be able to get gigs? And then sure enough, I started getting gigs. And I went, this is going to work. It's going to work. I'm getting work.
Yeah,
COVID.
Yeah.
And the funny thing too was one of the reasons we got left was to get the kids into school because we were sick of homeschooling them. And all the schools shut. So I was homeschooling the kids.
This hasn't worked out at all.
That's right. But I've got other friends. I've got another friend who just cut back on one job to focus on cruise ships. Oh, that didn't go over so well. I got another friend who just left his job to go work at Flight Centre. Yeah. Oh, then all the flight centres shut. So I had a lot of stories of people went, this is my new career move. Bum, bum.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to laugh. You got to laugh in the face of that kind of adversity.
How did it come back for you guys?
I just went on the job keeper.
No, I mean when the circus started up,
and then by April 21, he started up again. And
was he able to get the full complement of
Some different people,
Okay.
some same,
Yeah.
depending on who was around. And he said, "Do you want to come back?" So we went, "Yeah, okay, we'll
So
come back."
how many people does your circus employ?
It's got 32 at the moment.
Okay.
And that's not all entertainers. That's, ticket people and box office. And
Does everyone have multiple jobs? Because I'm assuming that
mostly.
when you roll into town, you're basically setting up a little mini city, aren't you?
Yeah, a little town.
Yeah.
I describe it as that, a town, because we put all the caravans in the same place every time.
Yeah.
So your neighbour's always your neighbour.
Yeah.
And the tent's in the middle. We live kind of around the tent.
Yeah.
And then our surroundings just change every few weeks. So
Yeah.
it's like a little town that moves town.
Yeah.
And at the moment we don't have a school, but when the kids were little, they had a little school.
Yeah. So what's your other tasks when you're not clowning, when you're setting up the city?
I put up and pull down the tents,
Help with the okay, yeah.
but that's only. But apart from that, no, I don't have another job.
Yeah.
Some of the others do. They go and work in the box office or
Yeah.
other things. But no, I'm clown
Yeah.
and then pizza.
Right.
Yeah, eating pizza, not making
Yeah.
pizzas.
So do they when you try to do something, like if you get asked to do, because I know.
Busy eating pizza.
Well, I was actually thinking, how important is this job? Well, I don't get the clown to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, don't you dare. Do you know who I am? My face is on the truck. Don't you know who I am, damn you? No, I have no ego. I fight. Ego's something to fight. I don't fight. It's terrible. My face is on all the trucks. I could walk around like that, couldn't I? I'm the clown here.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me like that. You do it. Pick up that rubbish I just threw on the
They're
ground.
going, no, you're just Matt.
Right, because I have met clowns that have egos. And I always find that very funny.
Yeah, right.
Clown
Yeah.
with an ego. There's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Ever heard it?
So how many months a year are you on the road?
11 months of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, normally January till November.
And how long do you stay in a town for when you rock up usually?
The smallest with this show will be a week.
Okay.
The longest is right now 6 weeks. That's the longest we've ever done because we had to extend because of the fuel crisis.
Yeah, right. How's that? Yeah, that's tough.
and
Tough for you guys.
Normally
too.
the maximum will be 4 weeks.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming that, because it's such a big job setting up and pulling down everything, like you got to make it worth your while. You're going to stay for a minimum of a couple of weeks, surely, aren't you?
Yeah, depending on the size of the town. If it's a small town, we'll go in for a week.
Yeah.
Get in, make them laugh, take all their money. Let's get out of here. But if it's a bigger place, then we'll do 2 weeks. And then if it's a school holiday place, we'll try to go to a big city or Townsville or Cairns or something for school holidays or wherever.
So have you pretty much, in the process of travelling with the circus, have you pretty much done a lap of Australia?
Yeah, I've done it all. We even went out to the Rock in 2013 and set up out there.
Wow, cool.
Did 3 shows out there.
Yeah.
I hadn't been out of my state at 12 years old before I joined the circus. Billy, my son, had done every capital city and in every state by age 4.
Wow.
We'd been everywhere, man.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite part of Australia that you like to revisit?
I kind of like it all. Airlie Beach is pretty great.
Yeah.
So, I do have my favourite spots.
Have you noticed a difference in audiences, like when you go out do you set up like farming communities and that sort of stuff, people that might be doing it pretty tough out on the land?
But it can be funny. There's sometimes you go out to a country town, which they're normally more appreciative because if they don't get much entertainment, you really feel like you're doing. In 2013, we went over the top. We went from Perth up the north, up to Exmouth, and then over Port Hedland, and Broome, and then Halls Creek, and little places like that, up to Darwin, then through to Katherine to Coober Pedy. There were some of those towns where they just would lift the roof off the place because they don't get entertainment. It was wonderful. Sometimes you get to a small town and you think, gee, they're going to love it here, and they're all like stoned. They don't, they don't clap and they don't laugh. Some towns have a vibe. A whole town won't clap. What is this? And then some towns you turn
That must
up
be
and
tough, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's hard. It's like, oh God, they're not. But then they'll come up to you after the show. Oh, we loved it. It was so great.
Yeah, that's weird.
So
isn't
funny.
It?
It's like, well, you know, you had a chance to show us that.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Like half an hour ago,
Face,
you had a woo woo and a ha ha and a bang bang that you could have done to show us that, rather than after the show to go, that's the best thing I've ever seen. Right?
Yeah. Oh, comedians get it too, man.
Yeah?
You'll get a tough gig, and you think, oh, they weren't really into that, and then you'll go, and then after the gig they'll be coming up going, oh man, that was awesome, and I'm like, were you at the same show?
Right.
Were you in that show?
Some nights everyone's got a feel. It's like everyone called each other and went, are you pissed off? Yeah, I'm pissed off too. All right, will you go on Thursday? Yeah, I'll go on Thursday.
Yeah. But we'll just sit and enjoy it. We won't. I think sometimes what we do as comics, clowns, right,
in the comedy industry,
right, and making a living out of making people laugh.
Yes,
it's very much a two-way street.
Oh, they don't seem to get that. The more you chap and clap and chap and blah blah blah. I can't pronounce my words. The more you react, the better the show is. Yeah. We'll lift our performance when you lift your appreciation.
You know, some bands, people jumping up and down, that energy of a live gig.
Be a better gig.
Absolutely.
The show's better if you're better.
Yeah, 100%.
And because it is in that way a mutual thing. It's like a communication that's going on.
Yeah, we're all in this one space at this one point in time. Let's make the most of it together. You know?
Yeah, it's there's a lot of differences and there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah,
there's a lot that you'd be taking in comically and there's names and things that I'm watching that you would be off your radar because I'm a clown, so I'm also watching comics and learning stuff, but I'm also learning things from here, and you'd be watching certain things that are off my radar too. But with there's so much that's the same. There's still green rooms and there's still audiences and we're still trying to make them laugh.
Yeah. And do you think in your 35 years doing it, do you think it's got it harder to make audiences laugh in recent times?
It's impossible for me to know because it's got easier for me as I've got better at it, and I'm getting I'm getting better at it every day. I'm getting better at it all the time. That's the other thing too, is you're always learning and improving, and you think, oh, I'm the best I've ever been now.
Yeah.
And then just the other week, I just did something different in a show, and it was better.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, that was there for me to find every show for the last 10 years, and bang, that's better.
Yeah.
So you're always on the road to improvement.
Do you find it? As comics, sometimes we will get in the groove where we know how good, because people say, oh, do you still get nervous, right? Like, I don't know if you still get nervous, and I say to them, what it is it's an anxiousness, right? I've been doing it for 28 years. Before I walk out on the stage, I know what I'm capable of doing to an audience, but I don't know. The audience is always the unknown factor, right? Whether or not they're going to come with you, whether or not the energy is going to be, whether or not they're going to be on board, and want to be in the moment sort of thing.
Yes.
But then when you've had those nights where, like I know I've had it where I've got 1,000 people in a theatre eating out of the palm of my hand for an hour to the point where all I have to do is a facial expression or a hand movement and it's all part of it, right? All of a sudden that's the benchmark. And then everything that you do, you're kind of chasing that again. Do you have that where you go, there's been times where I've had this entire tent just there with me.
Yeah.
And then you go, I'm chasing that all the time. You get where I'm saying,
yeah,
right?
I do, because though you remember those shows.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily remember specific shows, but I know that there's times when the audience are like that. And then there's times when they're like that and it's not as fun. But I still try to have my fun with it. And no, it can be just as, it's only when they're really, because a small crowd can sometimes still be amazing. I can still connect.
Yeah.
And have, I can get just as much fun and a challenge out of any show, maybe. And I've entertained. I did in 2020. I did a birthday party for one kid because there was COVID.
Okay.
It was towards the end of COVID, and so I went and did a birthday party because he was a Goldie fan, and so they, luckily, and he didn't laugh.
Right. Okay.
He watched my whole show.
Tough crowd. Yeah.
Luckily, the mum and the sister laughed.
Yeah.
You know, and 6 months before that, I was at the Echo with 20,000 people a night in the main arena with Billy, you know, doing the clown car routine.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, 20,000 people, and a year later,
Yeah.
I had one kid. But in some ways, I got just as much joy out of that one kid gig.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Well, talking about doing a gig for one kid, you know, like I'm the clown doctors, you know, like those clowns that go into hospitals and stuff, man, with the Humour Foundation. It's quite a big thing in Australia, you know. Like, has that ever been something that's been on your radar?
I've done a lot of hospital gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done heaps of them. Yeah, we have with the circus we go in and I've done lots of hospital gigs over the years. Back in the day, I used to do the saddest thing. Is it the saddest thing? It's one of them. I used to on Mount Tambourine. They used to have a Christmas in July, and it was for families who had a kid that wasn't going to be here at Christmas.
Oh my God! Seriously?
So we'd do Christmas in July. And I would turn up and do a clown show and make everyone laugh. And then I would go and we'd have a hall and I'd sit down with these families. I'd sit down as the clown and have Christmas dinner with kids. And it's heavy. They're heavy gigs.
Yeah, I bet.
And yeah, I've done, you see some pretty,
they're
like, pretty rewarding gigs.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, because you're not only doing it, you know, for the kids, but for the parents as well. And to see that.
Yeah, the pain in their eyes.
Well, that's the thing that I know when I came and watched you do the big top in the circus, looking around, you know, because when you're a performer, like you got to sometimes turn off your performing brain to just enjoy the show and not analyse it.
Yeah,
you know,
look at the crowd.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly,
same.
you know, and so like, because I was watching you do your thing and I'm just like, man, he's got him here and he's doing that and he's holding the space so well, and then you look out into the audience and you see the connection between the parents and the adults. Right. The adults and the kids laughing together. Yeah. Or the parents laughing at the fact that their kids are losing it. Yeah. You know, that I just remember thinking, man, it's a buzz. What an energy that is.
Yeah, it is pretty special. It's pretty special. It's giving memories and moments to people. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And talking before about just adults, like the other day when I was walking to the shops, this guy came out. He was in one of the shops. As I was walking to the shops, he came out. It's the first person that spoke to me when I was on the way over. He said, did anyone ever tell you look terrifying? Now, he was being playful, but just straight away I looked at him and went, looked in the mirror lately? and he cracked up. So first he's like, this clown, I'll say this to him. Bang.
Yeah.
And then he's like, clown.
Yeah. Do you like it when you actually get an opportunity as Goldie to just, banter with adults?
Oh, it's my favourite. Oh, yeah, totally. Because, I couldn't do what you do. If you put me out on a stage, it was just adults. Maybe I could you've got to write your routine and then you've got to go out and die for however long until you start to learn how to do it properly. And I don't really want to do that. I'm good at this now. I don't want to go back to square one.
I think you'd surprise yourself.
Maybe not. But yes, any chance to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Great. We did a promo show for the circus the other day, and I do this cut the lady in half trick. But before I did it, I went, instead of getting a lady, I'll get a man. Yeah. So, but he's my lady. Right. I was like, today's lady. This is a lady. It was a big Maori fella. How beautiful. Eli.
They're the best, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. Oh. Today's lady, we're going to cut in half. Eli.
Yeah, great.
So there's plenty. There's any moment of sharing laughter and making somebody laugh is joyous. Yeah, that's why it's constantly rewarding.
Yeah, there should be more of it in the world, man, especially now.
Yes, what the world needs now.
That's right. So, so aside from when you'd be in Goldie and bringing all this joy to everyone around Australia,
Yes.
who's Matt when the face paint comes
Raging
off?
alcoholic.
So this is where the clown fin comes from,
These
ladies
kids
and
are
gentlemen.
driving me crazy. More vodka. Mix it with bourbon. Put it in a bucket. Pour it over my head.
Hey, do you like The Simpsons? Krusty the Clown?
I'm getting a cramp in my leg. Oh God, that comedy bit just gave me a leg cramp. It's all right, I'm all right. Yes, Krusty is of inspiration. He has to be. You can't not be inspired because that's the clown that people know a lot of.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of and he's funny too. Anything funny, and that's a clown. He's the world's most famous clown for the last 20 years. Probably, I'd say yes.
Probably longer, yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
So if you're not getting inspired by him,
Yeah.
then you'd be crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of Goldie and there's a lot of Krusty and Goldie.
Yeah.
Hey, Krusty, I'm crustier than Krusty. Krusty's my sister. Yeah, I've got Krusty's awesome.
Do you have some advice for someone that might be listening that, because this goes out of, I think, it's what, 50 odd countries we're getting listened to at the moment. Like someone that's listening going, I wouldn't mind having a crack at being a clown.
Don't do it. Run for the hills.
Don't do it.
Get out of here. Ever heard of a real job? Yeah, no, I'm.
It is a real job,
It
Matt.
is, well, it is, I guess. I've always been. I'm so surprised by people that choose to do it and want to do it. And I've had people in the last few years come up to me and say, "I became a clown because of you." I had a guy do it a few years ago.
Are you serious?
I was a magician. I never really rated clowns. I saw you at Dreamworld and went, And now for the last 15 years, I've had this clown character. Wow. And another guy recently on Facebook reached out and said, he said, I don't do it anymore. He said, but as a kid, you inspired me so much. I started juggling and doing clown gigs and wow, cool.
Wow.
But it didn't call me. I'm always interested by, comedy surely called you. You're like, no?
No, I never set out to be a comedian.
So you
Have I not told you this story?
No.
Because I wanted to be an actor, right? I wanted to be a gangster I studied acting for 3 years.
Right.
And as part of the acting course, I did stand-up.
Yeah.
Right? Well, basically, it wasn't part of the course. We put on a cabaret show for the students to perform in for friends and family.
Right.
And I looked at the running order a couple of weeks before and I said, there's no comedy. And the guy goes, do you want to tell some jokes to you, McConville? And I was telling jokes on building sites as a sales rep, and mucking around in class and whatever. So I said, yeah, all right. So April 26 is my anniversary date.
Yeah.
So April 26, 1998, Hamilton Town Hall, did 10 minutes in front of about 90 people. And then 3 days later, I go into the acting school on the Wednesday night and they've got all these arty-farty black and white photos up of everyone that performed on the Sunday night.
Right.
And there's a photo of me on the wall holding a microphone and I'm looking at it laughing, going, how funny is that? I look like a comedian in this photo, right?
Right.
Which I actually have in my office now, that photo.
Yeah.
And then the dean of the school comes out and he goes, I need to speak to you in my office, right? And I think I'm in the shit. I've said something. I've done something wrong. And when I go in there, because at school you had to audition to get in and they took 14 people twice a year to get into this acting school. And he said, when you auditioned to come into the acting school, you never mentioned anything about doing stand-up. How long you been a comedian for? And I said, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'm here to tell you, mate. He goes, that's clearly your thing. He said, you need to start pursuing a career as a comedian and doing open mic spots and all that. He said, continue with the acting course because it will help you stand up to no end. And so that's pretty much how that happened, man.
Right.
It wasn't on my radar.
This guy got the ball. He put the idea in.
Yeah, and then by the time I graduated from the acting school, I'd been doing gigs for 3 years and was starting to get paid comedy spots in Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne.
Right.
And kind of just took off from there.
So we're kind of similar in that way. We kind of fell into it by when we're not really, it wasn't really the plan.
It wasn't the plan, you know.
I think there are a lot of people like that as well, but I think there are people that it calls them. It's like, that's what and I'm always a little jealous of those people because for a long time I felt a little inferior to it. It's like, I'm not the real thing because I didn't actually want to do this, and there's like it's not really. I wasn't born to do comedy. I had to learn how to do it. And then recently, I thought I kind of fell backwards. I kind of fell into it, bonk, ba-dunk, ba-dunk, and then I thought, well, that's a pretty clown way to. That's a pretty clown way to start doing something. You've been doing this
your whole life, though. Like I
was 15.
I was 28 when I started.
Right.
When I started at the acting school, like I'd done it.
But why acting? Why did you want to act?
I was just going through this. I worked on the tools as a welder, I was a sales rep for 10 years, and it was one of those. I had a midlife crisis at 28, thinking to myself, I know my life's destined for something other than being a sales rep, and I just thought I always wanted to be an actor for some reason, and I had the gift of the gab. I could go on building sites and talk to the labourer digging the hole and the guy paying $3 million for the building. And I was in the state emergency service. I'd stand up in front of people. I was an instructor and I taught all that. So being in front of people wasn't a problem. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to audition for this school. And if I get in, I'm taking that as being a sign that that's my thing. Right. And so I did. I just auditioned and got in, and that was that.
Yeah, right.
And then the crazy thing is how your life changes, tact, meeting that couple on the cruise ship.
Yes.
You know, and having this incredibly powerful conversation with this couple.
Is that like the first time you went, oh, it's meaningful?
No, well, it was a lot of comics, and like I'm sure you spoke before about people coming up to you going, mate, I've had a shit day, I've had a shit week, I really needed a laugh, you know. So that part of it wasn't new. But the impact that show had on that couple.
Yeah.
You know, here's a guy who for 3 years was dealing with his demons from Afghanistan, and I'd just gone out and done a show like I'd done tons of times before, and in her eyes I'd given her husband back.
Yeah.
And in his eyes I'd changed, and all I'd done was a gig.
It's beautiful.
And then when I got off the ship, I could not stop thinking about him, and that's when I started to think maybe there's more to being a comedian than just telling jokes. And then one thing led to another, and going to uni and after clinic.
Why suicide particularly?
It was one of those things that when I started to look at the effect of laughter on depression and PTSD on the back of this conversation with this 5 hours I chatted to him for on the ship.
Right.
After that gig.
Is that right?
Like until the sun came up.
Wow.
Right. And it was just a progression of going, wow, the stats on depression are full on. Wow, the stats on PTSD are full on. And that led me, it was like a natural progression to then the stats on suicide and the stats on attempted suicide. And then by the time I got there, I was like, wow, suicide is a real problem in our society that I had no idea of the extent of it. And I thought I just happened to work in an industry that could have a positive impact on this.
Yeah.
And so there was a thing at the time called a Global Impact Competition run by the Singularity University, where they went around different countries in the world and you had to submit your idea how you could have a positive impact on 1 million people in your country over 3 years.
Right.
And so I had this lofty idea of creating a link between the comedy industry and mental health.
Yeah.
Entered the competition, came second, and then got this business mentor, and he was actually my last week's guest actually on the podcast, Dr. Clarence Tan, and he said, mate, he goes, you've got to get a university involved to do this, and that's kind of how I ended up doing the Masters in Suicidology.
It's wonderful. This has all happened since we were working together at Dreamworld, hasn't it? It's all kind of popped up since 2012.
Yeah, because I was at Dreamworld from 07 to 09, I think it was. 07 to 09 or
Interesting.
10.
My mum died in 08, so you were there just before that. Yeah, right. So, yeah, wow. So it's just, I knew you were doing it, and because we've been Facebook friends, of course, and so I've been abreast of what you're doing, but I've just recently that I've really looked at what you're doing and listening to this, and it's just great. It's just, and you're doing your part. Like it's God's work. It's giving back to humanity. It's really wonderful.
Thanks, man. Well, it fills your cup. You know, like
and fill your cup, and fill everyone's cups if you can. Let's fill our cups.
That's it, that's it. And
full cups are good. Fill my cup.
Full cups are good.
Then we can all drink.
We talked about something last week. Have you ever heard of the Japanese philosophy of ikigai?
Yeah, the 4 things.
That's right.
So great,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And I feel fortunate that I've found
you found your 4
my
things.
purpose. You know what it is that my purpose is, what I'm good at, what the world needs, and what I can get paid for.
Right.
You know, not that I get paid for the podcast, but you
will. After this one, it's going to take off straight to the top of the charts.
That's right. See, the podcast came about as a way of, because I was going, there's only so, like I go out and do the conferences and do the laughter clinics live in communities and all that sort of stuff. You can only reach so many people.
Right.
And then I thought, well, this is a vehicle to get.
Knows the sky's the limit.
That's it, you know, and so and I've enjoyed it, man, and I get to, you know, tell wonderful stories like yours, and it's everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
You know,
fill all our cups.
That's right. Okay, so let's just quickly before we do wind it up. I am curious if you weren't a clown.
Yeah.
What do you reckon you'd do?
That's what I was wondering forever. Like that's what I spent the first 20 years doing. Like what else am I going to do? Never knew what it was. Actually, the Dreamworld management called me in once and said, well, you're here, you've been here for years. We've got all these courses and things that you could do. Is there anything you want to study? We'll pay for it. We'll help you to learn something else.
Yeah, cool.
And I went away for weeks thinking about it.
Yeah.
And nothing came.
Yeah,
and
right.
at the end I went, I think I'm really happy doing this.
Yeah, awesome.
But in 2022, I got my first ever real job. Jane was teaching at the school, and she there was a cleaning job. They wanted school cleaners.
Yeah.
And she said, you wouldn't want to do that. And I said, be blowed, I don't. Absolutely.
Okay.
So I would get up at 4 a.m. and I didn't have to put on a clown face, and I would put on my podcast.
You could be Matt all day.
Well, I didn't even have to be me. I didn't have to be anything. There was no one else. It was empty classrooms, and I would clean the thing and vacuum the floor. It's like, they're paying me to do this. This is great. I did it for 6 months. I loved it.
Is that right?
Oh, God. And I think people looked at me like I was from out of it because I'd never had a real job. I was 45 years old. I hadn't had a real job.
Isn't that funny?
The other cleaners thought I was mad because they were a bit like, oh, God, this is our lives. And I was like, this is awesome. Where's the chocks? But it did give me a new appreciation for the clown. Then when I went back to it, I went, it was fun to do it for 6 months.
Yeah, right.
To see how the other half lived. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that answered your question or not because I kind of forgot what it was. But
what would you do? Like if you
no idea.
No idea.
But now at least I know I can do other things.
Do you reckon you could teach someone to do what you do?
It's hard because I didn't learn, so I always wonder that. But there is things. I've done a few little courses over time, only a few. And whenever they'll teach something in like a method or a theory, and I'll be like, oh, that's what I do. Oh, that's the theory behind that, what I do. I kind of worked it out on myself.
But have you ever thought about teaching a course?
But I don't. I'd have to go. I don't know. What would I say?
Yeah, right.
Put on a red nose, everyone, and let's walk around. I don't. Maybe I could. I don't know. I've found my way of doing it. So I guess everyone's got to find their own way, don't they? Be your clown. Be your version of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how do you do that? I don't know. Go do it. I wouldn't know the theory behind it.
Yeah.
And there's probably people that are looking at me that do know the theory going, gee, he's doing this wrong and he's doing this right. And
well, mate, you must be doing something hell of a
people are
right.
laughing. All I've got to worry about
over 30 odd, that's you're
I've been
doing
almost
it right.
constantly employed.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
So yeah, it is. So I must be doing something right. All I've got to worry about is the audience. Are the audience laughing?
Yeah.
Is the boss happy in giving me my paycheck?
Yeah,
and everything else. But I thought about it a lot. Would I be able to go teach? And I'd have to learn a few techniques first, and then maybe I'd be able to go do it.
Yeah.
It could be on the cards.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, okay. So before we wind up with our final feel-good 5, so if people want to find out what Matt De Goldie's up to and Goldie the Clown, where do they go? Is it a Facebook thing?
Yeah, I've got a Facebook and an Instagram.
Yep.
and an OnlyFans. A Goldie OnlyFans. It's yes, I give Goldie showers.
And it's actually Goldie. And it's
That's
actually
so he
you
wants to
standing
see
there.
that.
You standing there. You've got a shop, and that's all you sell is OnlyFans.
Yes, and it's just me with fans. Tricked you.
Okay, well, I'll put all the links to these in the show.
See, that's the type of thing that you can do with the clown. You can
Yeah.
actually throw in, and the kids will be like, "What?"
Yeah, love it.
Yes. No, that's it. I had a few people hit on me as the clown over the years, like on my Instagram privately, because there's clownophilics.
Get out.
It's a real thing. I'd never heard the word. And this guy started saying, wow, do you
Is that
make...
the ones with the foot fetish? They love the big feet?
Yeah, I guess. And this guy was saying, gee, your nose, it's not a pro nose, is it? And I said, no, I make the noses myself. And he was like, oh, you're like a clown god. And then he said, I'm just a clownphilic little fella. Like he's in Germany. He's in his 20s or something. And I was like, clownphilic? And then I went, oh, I know what he's talking about. And, then wrapped up the conversation. Said, thanks for messaging.
Clownosexual.
Apparently it's a thing. So maybe I could make money doing that. I'm not going to.
No.
We're not going to. I'd have to be pretty hard up. All the bus driving jobs would have to be taken.
Yeah, which is strange because the last thing we're doing is the feel good 5, which is
Well, some people would feel good by this. There's people out there that are hopeful. Please, Goldie, get into that. Please.
okay. All right, I'm going to let you go shortly,
Yes.
right? But before we do, right, all of our guests
The final five.
All of our guests get asked the feel good 5. So here we go.
The feel good five.
The feel good 5. Number 1, what makes you happy?
Oh, so much. My children make me happy.
Yeah,
Goodness
awesome.
me. So much joy out of family. The world makes me happy. There's so much happiness is there to be found. The world is a sad place at times, and there's a lot of suffering and pain. So look for the happiness wherever you can.
Love it. Love it. What are you grateful for?
Oh God, gratitude's a daily thing too, isn't it? Study that's so helpful to be daily thinking of what you're grateful for. You can be grateful for everything. You get up and you're putting away chores, putting away. You can wash your dishes with an attitude of being thankful and grateful to the universe that you're alive, and you've got to remind yourself, don't you? You're walking around, I'm a bit tired. It's like, well, it's actually good. I've been working. That's a good thing. No, my legs are sore. I can walk. I've got sore leg. Wow, you can start taking everything for granted, and then you remind yourself, be grateful.
Yeah, especially now, like we sometimes forget that, we see the news and all the conflict that's happening around the world, and for you and I, it's just news.
Yeah.
For them, that's their life.
Right.
That's their daily reality.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective. The same thing with hospital visits. You go in and you see families that are really suffering through. I've seen some very sad things, and then you go, my problems are nothing. There's still everyone's got their cross to bear, but it puts things into perspective.
Gratitude's a beautiful thing to practice, my friend.
Right.
Yep.
Oh yeah, daily.
Number 3 on the list. What are you looking forward to, mate? What's coming up?
What am I looking forward to? I don't know if I have anything that I'm looking forward to.
Okay, so when I ask people this question and they go, I don't know, right? To help you out, I'll give you can do 3 time frames. What are you looking forward to in, say, the next 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months?
Yeah, interesting.
Got anything happening over the next couple of days, couple of weeks?
My future's just gone a little bit dark. I'm not sure what's going to be happening. So I've had to go like, well, how am I going to...
Because
the circus has to close down because of the fuel crisis.
Right.
So I need to
that's full on, man.
Find work. I guess that's at the moment. Maybe if you'd asked me this a few weeks ago, I would have had a list of things. At the moment, it's just like, all right, you've got to bring your vision down to the next few weeks of...
Yeah.
I'm going to hopefully get clown gigs. Oh, that's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully getting clown gigs places and getting some other maybe job, who knows, whatever, to pay bills in the meantime. And then maybe I'm looking forward to the circus starting back up again so I can keep on keeping on.
So, because these come back after COVID, which was a big shutdown, that sort of stuff, like what's your vibe on how he's going to navigate the fuel? Because
Yeah, well, it
I'm
depends.
assuming it's the fuel situation.
Fuel
That's,
and Mr. Trumpy, what's he going to do?
Yeah, right, yeah,
I think
yeah.
at the moment, definitely, the fuel's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And also, but everyone, so ticket sales have dropped off.
yeah,
Because people are also looking, going, well, we can't afford to spend crazy right now.
yeah.
Or mortgage rates or whatever it is,
Yeah.
So things have been a bit on the downturn.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, once things settle down, he's got all the trucks and the tent and the seating. And at some point he'll go, let's go.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4 on the feel good 5 is, what's your me time, mate? When you switch off and you want to recalibrate, what do you do?
Dude, I'm always doing something. It's so seldom that I get it. It was raining the other week and I couldn't do anything outside. And because I live in a caravan, I live in it's a truck. It's 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters.
Right.
And then I've got an annex out the back, which is another. So I live in basically a 2.5 by 5 meter space. And in that I've got
Everything you need.
everything.
Yeah.
Washing machine, dryer, all my clothes.
Yeah, right.
Kitchen, bed. I've got a bed that folds down.
Is that where you sit and do your makeup and everything,
Yep.
and you
Face
come
paint.
out and you...
Damn you.
Sorry. Damn, I thought I got through the...
Don't you offend me.
I thought I got through the whole episode, right? Without
Yes, I do that there. The table folds out and there's my face paint tray.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that folds in and the other one folds out and that's my table where I eat.
Yeah.
I've got a big screen TV, but it's on a blind with a projector.
Cool.
So that folds away. The bed folds down, the bed folds up, the couch comes up, and then the couch comes down and my piano comes out.
Yeah, okay,
I've got
nice.
maybe the world's only bed, couch, piano.
Okay,
I don't know.
good.
In one. So what do I do? Like, yes, I play piano in my spare time. I love sitting down. I've taught myself to do that for the last 30 years.
Cool.
I paint.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing in COVID. I just started painting like a madman.
Yeah.
I started selling paintings.
Yeah. Yeah, nice
I
one.
do. There's creative things like
Creative
that.
things, yeah, cool.
But if not, then I'm like, I'm going to build this. So I'm constantly pottering and building and keeping. I think that's a big trick to life is keep busy.
Yeah.
Idle hands are the devil's
Playground. Something like
I think
that.
it's playground.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's good, mate. It's good to have that creative outlet for your me time's awesome. Okay, so last one. What is it that's made you laugh recently?
Yeah, I've had a lot of laughs. Oh, what? You know what I've been laughing at? You know what I've been laughing at recently is some of these. There was a woman the other night in the front row. And at the end, we're doing the finale. Yeah, people are clapping. Woo, and the kids are laughing and waving. And we're doing our bows. And there's one woman like scowling. The people that don't clap, they come at the end and they're sitting front row right there and they're folding their arms and refusing. And I've just been laughing at them because that's just funny.
Yeah.
This one particular woman the other night that was scowling at me. Like I was the worst thing.
Yeah.
Ugh. She's kind of turning her head on the side and looking at me with a side eye.
Do you have that mentality where I'm going to get you?
No, this was at the end. I hadn't even noticed her to the very end of the show.
Right.
And I just went out the back. I nearly was on the ground. It was so funny.
Yeah.
That's the biggest laugh I've probably had in the last week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Hi out there, if you're listening. Side of Mrs. Side Eye.
Isn't that weird how that could be a thing? You know?
Yes. She'll be looking at her iPhone with her side eye. Ugh. Why am I listening to this clown podcast? Why did I come to this circus?
Mate, why did I come to this circus?
Why am I here? You get that sometimes. People are scared of clowns and they come sit in the front row. I've had women kind of sitting there like, ugh. It's like, why did you come here at all?
Well,
And if you
maybe they're trying to
or sit
overcome.
at the back.
No, they might be trying to
Confront
overcome
their
their
fears.
That's right.
I say that a lot.
The psychologist had said if you go to the circus, you've got to sit in the front row.
I say if they come up to me, I say, you want a hug, and sometimes before the show they don't want to. So you got to confront your fears. If you're scared of heights, you should jump out of a plane.
Yeah.
If you're scared of spiders, you should buy a pet spider. If you're scared of clowns,
hug a clown. Hug a clown.
And sometimes by the end of the show, they'll come up and you're right, and they love me. By the end, they come and give me a hug. So curing people.
Oh, you're a legend, mate. I'm so glad we got to do this.
This is fun.
I'm so glad we got to do this.
It was better than Conan.
Oh, good.
Good. Yeah, maybe Conan's listening. He's crying right now.
Oh, yeah. He's cloud tears. Yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah. Mate, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and everything that you bring to the world, mate. There should be more of it. There really should be.
You too. Let's keep up the good work.
Absolutely, brother. So thank you, my friends, for tuning in, no matter where you are in the world listening. As always, really appreciate your time. If you enjoyed the episode, share it with a friend, leave a comment, all that sort of jazz. You know the deal. And like always, my friends, please be kind to yourself and be kind to those around you. We'll talk to you next time. Cheers.
Thank you for listening. The information contained in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not intended, nor should it ever replace advice received from a physician or mental health professional. Want more info? Visit thelaughterclinic.com.au. If you enjoyed the episode, please share and subscribe. Thanks again for listening to a Laughter Clinic podcast with your host, Mark McConville.